Hi there. This is a fairy tale told within the story of the first light. It's a solstice tale, and in this world, it's traditional to read this story every year in the same way that Americans might read The Grinch on Christmas. It was in her 14th year that Ruby's antlers started to grow. She hid them at first, but as the burnished points grew past what her hair could cover, she showed her mother, who screamed and fainted. Her father appeared in the doorway, aghast at what he saw. "Devil child," he shouted as he carried her mother away. Her father stopped speaking to her. He managed to always be on his way out of any room she entered. Her mother pretended nothing was wrong, but on solstice night, as she was tucking Ruby in, she suddenly climbed onto the bed and pinned her arms down. "Come quick," her mother shouted. Father appeared, grim-faced, with saw in hand. "We're doing this for your own good," he said. "We're going to cut the devil out of you." Interjection in the story, there's some conversation at this point. The story continues. Ruby screamed and thrashed as her father approached with the saw, tears in his eyes. Her mother's baker-strong hands held her tight. Ruby twisted her head sideways and knocked the saw from his hands with her horn, then headbutted her mother to get free. She was half a mile into the snowy woods before she realized she was barefoot, wearing only her pajamas, and there was blood on her horns. The story gets summarized for a few sentences, and then we continue. Just as her heart could sink no lower, she heard women's voices echoing across the snow. Lights appeared in the forest, glowing pink and blue in all the colors of the rainbow. Ruby walked toward the lights and came upon a most wondrous crew. 6 deer with the torsos of women and long, beautiful antlers atop their heads, each point tipped with colored light. "There she is, lucky 7, said the tallest and most beautiful of the deer women. "What is your name, young fawn?" "Ruby," she said timidly. It wasn't the name her family had given her, but it was the one she used for herself. "I am Halifa, and these are my sisters. You must be cold." She extended a hand and helped Ruby onto her back. "Will you join us in our den to keep warm this longest of nights?" Ruby thought of her parents. Were they out looking for her? Had she hurt one of them in her escape? What would they do if they found her? The dear woman's warmth chased the chill from her limbs. "I will," she said. They rode through the snowy woods, antlers casting a rainbow of light up before them. She noticed the other deer women smile as they looked at her little horns. She cupped a hand across one. It lit up pink with reflected light. She wiped her tears as they rode through the tunnel of brush, which lashed hungrily at her. At last they emerged into an oval-shaped den. Walls packed with leafy branches, boughs of pine, and sprigs of fresh rosemary. It was warm here, with the wind at bay and the bodies of the deer women all around. Halifa knelt, and Ruby slid off into a tangle of warm fur, soft skin, and antlers that never seemed to get in the way. It smelled of earth and herbs, infused with the deer woman's comforting musk. "You can stay for the night, or as long as you wish," said Halifa, who lay with eyes closed and legs intertwined with several of her sisters. "This can be your home if you like, and we your family." She smiled, and Ruby smiled with her. "I like," she said, closing her eyes and settling in against Halifa's flank. "Thank you. Thank you all, sisters." From then on, she spent her days roaming the woods with her new herd. She rode atop Halifa or one of the others until her hind parts grew in. In time, she became a deer woman just like them, with white antlers both beautiful and deadly. They stayed away from human dwellings and slew any hunters who dared to enter their domain. They lived as legends. None who saw them ever lived to tell the tale. With one exception. Every year at solstice, she'd pass by her parents' house and stand in the yard. Her mother would watch her through the window, breath steaming the pane. Her father would stare at the fires if she weren't there. She didn't wish them ill. They were like figures in a fairy tale, fixed for eternity in the miserable little life they'd created for themselves. Ruby lived her own fairy tale, one where women roamed free as deer in the woods and kept each other safe from the world's perils. The end.